Episode 11. You are listening to the new Glam Gal podcast, the podcast where style meets confidence. Conquer the frustration of trying on clothes and learn to dress and love the body you are in. There are no size or weight requirements here. I'm your host, Miss J. Join me, won't you? Hey, Glam Gal. Welcome back to the podcast. My sister, Jessica, is a hairdresser, and women sit in her chair all the time, and they share with her their drama, their concerns, their struggles. So she gets this unique window into women's hearts and minds. And one of the things she shared with me a few weeks ago was that a lot of the women who sit in her chair have a similar refrain. I should be married by now. I should have children by now. I should already have a college degree. I should already have a house. I should already have X amount in savings. I should already be retired. I should, whatever the thing is that they should do. And one of the things that she asks her clients is, well, who says? And most of the time, they don't really have a response. It's as though there is a should committee in their head. A committee that's full of other people's perceived voices telling them what they should be, should do, or should have done differently. Now, I know for myself, I know if you were to ask me, who says for all the should have done, should do that I have running around in my brain, I would probably say, well, society, and leave it at that. If I didn't explore that any further and push myself to really answer the question, I could really get away with having a should committee in my head the rest of my life, and then chalking it up to, well, society says, without ever really further exploring who that should committee is in my head. My friend Tammy really puts it like this: who's the audience that you believe you're performing for? Is it your parents, your mother, your aunties, your colleagues, coworkers, classmates? Who is it that you have in your imaginary front row, watching whatever you do or say? And in this imaginary front row where people are watching you, what is it you imagine they're saying you should do differently, or keep doing? For the most part, it's usually what we should do and what we're doing wrong. But where does all of this come from? Because if we just chalk it up to society and leave it there, we never really get to the heart of the question. What thoughts are we thinking in our own heads about what we should do and who we should be and what we should do differently? Because, Glam Gal, there really is no should committee. As much as we would like to chalk things up to cultural norms, societal norms, and I do believe that there's some institutional things that put pressure on us. But at the end of the day, we get to decide what we make all of it mean. Are you creating in your own head a fake committee that is constantly ridiculing you and beating you up about every choice and decision you've made? Is that the kind of should committee you want in your head? Is that the kind of thoughts you want in your head? Societal norms and pressures aside, what do you want to think? What do you actually think? These are the questions we should ask ourselves. And an important starting point is, well, who says? And really the answer to that is you. You've been saying. So the second component is, well, what exactly have you been saying to yourself? And how have you been saying it? I know for me, for a number of years, it was a constant thought loop about all of my regrets and using that as a means to beat myself up and then chalking it up to quote unquote society telling me who I should be and what I should do. Without further exploring it, I was kind of stuck there in that loop. And I had that should committee, which is essentially my mean girl voice in my head, berating me constantly. And it was exhausting. And I wasn't able to break free from it because I had chopped it up to this amorphous should committee, this societal thing. Now, I'm urging you to explore who says and what you think and what you make it mean and how it makes you feel. Now, I know that there are some external pressures. Trust me, I understand. As a Hispanic woman, I get that there are some external pressures. However, just like in the episode Other People's Opinions, I get to decide whether I gobble up those opinions, taste them, see if they fit, see if I like them, see if they serve me, or I can just leave them there like old wilty broccoli. I don't have to take on other people's opinions, while also recognizing that sometimes external pressure is not necessarily a bad thing if I decide to take it in a constructive manner and make it mean something that has a net positive effect for me. Usually, a red flag for me when I'm working with clients is if they tell me, well, I should be doing X, Y, or Z. I could be doing X, Y, or Z, as opposed to I want to do X, Y, or Z. The subtle difference is actually quite a big difference. When you're in the mode of I should, I could, you're actually inactive. You're not doing anything at all. And thoughts like that keep you stuck there. When we chalk things up to the amorphous societal pressure or external pressure, and we don't further explore what we're making those external sources mean to us, then it gives us the perfect excuse to say in should or could land without actually taking any action. Yes, you could always do X, Y, or Z. You possibly maybe should do X, possibly Y, maybe Z, but do you want to? Really think about that for a second. When that should committee is going off in your head, 1, ask yourself, well, who says? 2, ask yourself your own thoughts. What am I thinking about this? And 3, remind yourself you have a choice. You can always move from I should to I want to or I don't want to. You do have a choice. You do have a say in the matter, whatever the matter is. Don't allow the pretext of societal pressures, quote unquote, and the idea of a should committee keep you stuck. Now, how does this apply to style and confidence? A lot of times my clients tell me, well, shouldn't I own a white button-up shirt? And I tell them, well, who says? They say, well, I saw a list on Pinterest. Well, who created the list? Well, I don't know. Then why are you taking it as sacrosanct? We don't even know who created this list. Why would you need to go out and buy a white shirt? And then they give me a reason. Usually it's, well, it was on a list, and it gets very circular and they get really stuck. And then I move them from that place to say, well, do you like white button-up shirts? And for the most part, not really. Even my career ladies would tell me not really. So then why have that on your should list at all? Let's turn off that should committee. This is particularly true when it comes to fashion trends. There becomes the must-haves of the season. And then we turn on this mean girl committee in our head that we should be buying X, Y, or Z, whether or not it serves our current lifestyle or our current body. We actually never consider that. We take this must-have list as gospel, turn on the should committee in our head, and then beat ourselves up because we don't have the finances to purchase all the things on said list, or we don't really even like the things on said list. So, turn off the should committee. Start asking yourself when it comes to fashion trends or anything else in your life, well, who says? What do I think about this? Do I even like this? Is this something I want or would choose for myself? And then move from there. Don't allow yourself to get stuck because there's some must-have list or should committee out there in the universe. You can take them as suggestions, but you don't have to take them as gospel. All right, Glam Gal. I hope this is helpful to some of you who tell me you're stuck in a style rut or stuck in decision making. Ask yourself, who says? And move from there. Would love to hear what you're up to. Feel free to message me on Instagram. My handle is Judith Gatan. If you would like to do some more of this thought work and get unstuck, whether fashion stuck or brain stuck, I'm here to help. Sign up for a freestyle session at judithgatan.com/about. All right, let's get it, Glam Gal. Miss J out.